Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time again. Coming live from Five Towns College at the Gene Free Studios, you are listening to Dawgs in the House. Man, I missed last week's episode. I've never missed an episode of this show. I've never missed an episode
crazy.
of this
Perfect
show.
attendance award to Jack Barton. Actually goes to Ryan Russo now.
Yeah.
But it sucked to not have you, but Sydney Mountain, Jose Rojas filled right in. Dawgs in the House here, mid-March, March 12th.
Yeah, man.
We're getting into, out of NFL free agency, everything, but
So much happening.
we have a special guest today, former student here at Five Towns College, my dear friend, Aaron McLaughlin.
What up, fellas?
Give
How we
it up.
doing?
Good. It's good to have you. Yeah, let's hear a bark. Yeah. There we go. He
Nice,
put his
bro.
whole chest into that. Let's
Yeah,
go.
bro.
How y'all doing? I appreciate you having me on. I was here for 4 years. I haven't been on the radio here since 2024. My Dawgs debut, guys. So
Yeah, you'll knock
man.
that rust off quick, man.
Yeah.
We got faith in you. We only get the best on Dawgs. So
Only the best.
Welcome in a new dog today. We're gonna be covering a lot NFL. We're going to be playing a game midway through, and we're going to be covering WBC and MLB. We got our baseball expert in the house, so that's we're taking advantage of that. And yeah, Jack, you want to kick things off with that?
Yeah, boys. So obviously, let's get a little bit into some of this free agency stuff. We'll get a little bit more into this down the road, but we saw, I think one of those events where it's like, where were you when this went down? You know what I mean? So I don't know, Friday of last week, I get an alert on my phone. Baltimore, a first-round pick this year, first-round pick next year's draft to the Raiders in exchange, Maxx Crosby. I saw those edits on Instagram. It looked pretty scary. I felt really bad for Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase was saying some things on his Call of
saw
Duty
that.
Live.
Yeah.
Some things were being said. It was a huge move. It was a giant move. And then all goes back.
Crazy.
Crosby's a Raider again, not on the Ravens. Now Hendrickson kind of took that role, so now the Ravens can kind of like save face a little bit. Boys, what are your thoughts? What are we thinking?
Yeah, and to answer your first question, I was actually on the toilet. No, I'm kidding. When that trade happened, no, I'm joking. But it was wild.
not
Like
joking.
you rarely see things like that. Like me and you as baseball fans, we saw that with who was that? Correa to the Mets
twice.
But-
Giants too.
Yeah, but he didn't pass a physical, and that it's all contingent on the physical, and that's like the biggest thing. So obviously the Ravens saw something they didn't like and decided not to go through with the trade, which I think may have benefited them because they were giving up 2 firsts. That's a lot of capital to give up.
You know
Two
what?
first-round picks for. Excuse me if I'm wrong. I'm going to look up his exact age, but he's pushing 30.
28.
So he's not exactly the youngest.
He's
Obviously-
not what Brady would say. I love when Brady says this. He's not fresh lettuce. He's not fresh lettuce.
Well, I don't think he'll be playing for Brady ever again. I think they're going to trade him to someone who can give them a similar package. I don't think anyone's going to be able to top the package that the Ravens were going to offer, but it's crazy. Like Maxx Crosby trade doesn't go through. Bam Adebayo scores 83 points, and USA Baseball loses to Italy.
forgetting-
what a Tuesday.
Yeah, bro.
Campaign dropped 32 that day too.
Campaign
Yeah.
did. Oh, no way. Wow, Knicks legend. Never forget game 1 in the Garden against the Pistons. Campaign. I'll never forget you for that. But,
Man.
any thoughts on that? Trey Hendrickson, Maxx Crosby?
Man,
anything?
so Maxx Crosby's hands down, a top 5 defensive player in the NFL.
Yeah.
With that being said, you knew that Raiders relationship was souring from last season. The Ravens made a huge splash, and it was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this is it.
I was scared.
And
Yeah.
you should have been. And it's like, wow, the Ravens really, they're trying for it. But then now, a few days later, you just kind of see it all unravel. The Ravens now lost a lot of free agents. They don't have Maxx Crosby.
Yeah.
And they signed a guy to a big contract who's a great player who is coming off an injury.
Yeah.
So-
and he was also coming off just sitting for a
Sitting,
year.
sitting.
A holdout.
Yeah, dude.
But I don't
Yeah.
think you can forget how good Trey Hendrickson
Yeah,
was. 2
no.
years ago, he led the
Yeah.
league in sacks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it is a good signing, but
Yeah. Now
No,
there
it
was a report for a little bit there too, because for me personally, if we compare the two, because I feel like that's a fair comparison now, seeing that Crosby was kind of the first go get, and then they kind of fill that void with Hendrickson to get some hype back in their team. I felt a little bit more intimidated with Crosby as a Raven than I do with Hendrickson.
Yeah.
And part of that too is now you're playing in division with a guy who's already played in that division. So like if you're a Pittsburgh fan and you're a Browns fan, like this is a guy who's been a weapon in division that you're already used to.
Yeah.
That takes the edge off a little bit, where Crosby was like, bam, fresh, new,
Yep.
you know, all that kind of stuff. There was a rumor going around. I don't know how far I look into this. I have my own opinions about this, but the rumor was they were looking for not just Crosby, but for Hendrickson as well, and to pair the two of them as dual rushers on the same defensive. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In a crazy good way, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you also have to think about something. National Football League has a salary cap, and with that being said, if you're a team trying to compete, I mean, you're in a win now as long as the guy who's your quarterback is your quarterback.
Yeah.
As long as Lamar is there, you're in a win now. So when you lose probably the second best center in football in Tyler Linderbaum, you're going full scorched earth. I mean, on two edge rushers, which you need, but then, I mean, what happens to the rest of the team? I mean, you look at that team, the defense isn't good outside of whatever that would have been.
Yeah.
They have a good linebacker. They have like two good DBs, but
It's been their problem.
Yeah.
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 It's been their problem for the Ravens, but it wasn't always. Right now, it's the lack of the good personnel. It's usually injuries that.
Yeah.
And it happens every year with the Ravens, and I've said it on the show before, is they need Baltimore needs a new training staff.
Oh, yeah.
Every single year, someone's pulling a muscle. Like, not somebody, like 10 guys are out, and then out for the rest of the regular season, and then they didn't even make the playoffs last year. I mean, the Ravens have a decent amount to fix, but they have the most important thing, which is a quarterback. Get a new head coach in there. Ravens are never going to go away. They're always going to be right there if they have Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Like you said, losing Linderbaum, it was tough.
Yeah.
But now the Raiders, you look at the opposite side of things.
Bro.
The Raiders
Steal, bro.
accounted for losing out on Maxx Crosby, who you said top 5 defensive player. I think I agree. They accounted for that, and they bolstered up their defense, and now they still have Maxx Crosby on the
and
team.
not to mention too, offensively, this is a new unit. This is a brand new unit. First of all, the biggest thing from last year that I saw is that offensive line, atrocious. It was just terrible. And you started right at the forefront. You started with getting a solid center for this unit. Let's be honest, guys. Mendoza is going to be a Raider. I mean, let's not dance around that for a second.
Let's not try to be cute here. And if the Raiders try to be cute, that's going to mess them over for the long run.
You get a guy who's going to help protect. I think in the draft, you also got to try to maybe find a left side of the line a little bit. You kind of afford having a bit of a rough right side a little bit.
Yeah.
You have a solid running back, possibly one of my favorite college running backs in the last couple of years.
Oh, we know you love.
I
Genty,
love
man.
Genty,
Genty's
bro.
awesome, man.
He really came on the scene later in the year, man.
Yeah, dude.
He was
Those three
looking elite.
games, I could have gotten rid of him. I didn't. I kept him. Love him. Should
Jack
have won.
Fantasy team, everybody Jack Fantasy
Should have
team.
won the Heisman.
We know you all care so much.
Yeah, but this is all I'm gonna say too. They go out, they get a couple of guys, and new regime. You get a brand new head coach in there too. No disrespect. I do love Pete Carroll, but man, should have handed the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a very interesting move, and on top of this, you now still have the top edge rusher, one of the top edge rushers in the NFL.
Yeah.
Do you have to figure out your cap situation? Sure. But this is a good problem to have because you guys have some of the best cap.
Well, I don't think Maxx Crosby plays another game in a Las Vegas Raiders uniform.
You don't think so?
He has
it's done.
said that he's done.
You think so?
He
It's
did
over.
not like their antics late in the year when he thought he was healthy enough to play, and they said, no, you're
said
not
no.
playing.
Yep.
So he's taken that personally. He does not want. He did not want to be a part of, like, let's be honest. That's loser. That's a loser mentality.
Yeah.
Right. I get it. Like, it's the last 2 games of the season.
It's intentional
blah, blah, blah.
tanking, really.
Maxx Crosby's a dog. He wants to be out there. He wants to play. He
Yeah.
wants to sack the best quarterbacks. He wants to show his force on the field every single Sunday, and they didn't let him do that. I don't think he wants to be a Raider.
So-
I think he's the one being like, trade me, trade me, trade me.
You agree?
I agree. But here's the question. I mean, I've heard, in my opinion, too many people question, well, is he going to stay a Raider? How does that conversation go? Hey, we actually agreed to terms to trade you, but hey, man, it fell through. You want to stay? Well, what is that?
Yeah, and
How do you do
he
that?
clearly doesn't believe in what they got going on
No,
in
and
Las
he
Vegas.
shouldn't. He shouldn't.
He shouldn't either. They're going to win more games than they did last year.
Who cares? He'll be on a playoff team.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think a team with picks should swoop in and grab him. The Bears. There's another team I'm blanking on right now.
Dallas
but
was a heavy
I
favorite.
can see like the Eagles swooping
Eagles.
in.
Yeah.
The Eagles never have enough guys on defense. They love great defenders. Grab him, put him on the Eagles with Jalen Carter.
Yeah, dude.
Jesus, that would be scary.
That's a good team.
And right before, with all of Baltimore, the heavy favorite behind Baltimore at the time was Dallas. Jerry Jones was making moves. They were feeling the presence of Parsons not being on that unit anymore. You go get Crosby, you're making a lot of people happy with that.
I don't
move.
think you can afford that. Though.
I could already see what the media will say if Jerry Jones decides to pay Maxx Crosby.
Oh,
Let's hear
But
it.
you can. I don't know. Jerry Jones
Smiles.
didn't want to pay Micah Parsons,
But he wants to pay Maxx Crosby.
You do the math. You do the math.
But here's the other thing. I don't think Dallas has the cap now to afford.
Nah,
Crosby.
dude. Well, especially you got two
I mean,
wide receiver ones
you,
in that
You have
unit.
two wide receiver ones. One of them with a
Yes, it
long-term
would-
contract.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to.
And one of them, you're not
Pickens.
you're not keeping Pickens unless you get
You're
an
not.
extension
Yeah.
done soon, because
No.
he will start being George Pickens again that we saw in Pittsburgh before. He
Oh,
left.
he's in the perfect offense to be George Pickens.
Yeah.
He's the perfect. It is a match made in heaven. And I good. You see my Steelers shirt. Good riddance, because dude, that was awesome. I'm glad that he's successful somewhere else that actually throws the ball.
Fair.
But other contenders, right? I'll stay. I just mentioned the Eagles. Ed and Reek Woolen to that secondary.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, they lose Reed Blankenship to the Texans, which also Texans made out pretty well in free agency.
Although, you know,
for
I'm going to
sure.
say this, though, about the Texans. The only move the Texans made, in my opinion, that I thought was like, okay, that's a good move that you needed to do, was, like, I'm forgetting the guy's name, but they made a move for a guy from the Colts for their offensive line to help him out a little bit. After, you know, they lose Tunsil a season ago, he ends up going to the Commanders. That was a big loss for them. That O-line was
just
atrocious.
got paid too, right?
Yeah, he's staying. He's a commander.
Yeah.
He's staying there. But you go and get some more defensive guys. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I think the Texans last season solidified to me they are the best defensive team in the NFL, period. NFL, period. I think straight up, like no other
Completely
team
agree.
dominates the way they do. When they had good games and that defense was on, everybody, they play like they had rabies. Yeah, you go get Blankenship. That's great. Stronger defensive move. Dude, this offense, you lost games because of it. You know what I mean? Like, I would have made some more splashes. Are you keeping Christian Kirk?
I don't
Are you
know
trying to
if it
find
was-
a Tank Dell replacement? You don't know if he's going to be great.
I don't know if they lost games because of the entire 11 guys on offense.
Oh, no,
I
no,
think
no.
They lost
There's
games
one
because of
dude.
one guy, and it was C.J. Stroud, a guy who came into the NFL and was dominant and looks like a deer in the headlights now.
Yeah. Yep.
He looks horrible.
Yeah. I
They
think
drafted
Bryce
two-
Young stole his talent.
I don't think he has it either.
Yeah, but C.J. Stroud, whatever. They drafted two good wide receivers last draft.
Yeah.
they have young wide receivers, and bringing in
Higgins,
David Montgomery,
solid guy,
they have
yeah.
these weapons. Yeah, they needed a little work on the offensive line. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but the problem is under center.
Yeah.
If he doesn't find what he was in 2023,
Yeah, dude.
they will go nowhere.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on a defense to win you a Super Bowl.
No.
So I kind of agree with what you're saying, but
Yeah.
they do have Nico Collins,
Yeah.
Hutchinson,
Schultz, solid
What's
tight
the other
end.
guy's name?
Jaden Higgins.
Higgins.
Yeah.
They have Schultz is a solid tight end. They have that young tight end. Bringing in Montgomery to pair with, dude, my
Woody
brain,
Marks?
Woody Marks. My brain is not in NFL mode.
It's okay.
It's crazy, dude.
It's okay.
I'm like
we'll get
blanking right now.
we'll get to
get
that.
there.
Blankenship
We'll get
right
there.
now,
Well,
dude.
let's
It's crazy. Hey,
let's
you like
just
that? You like that?
yeah, let's finish with this
It
though, because
works for
obviously
jokes.
Yeah.
All
we
day,
all
every day.
we all got our own teams, and obviously, you know, let's be honest, guys. Any sports analytical guy out there, they have a team that they like. We're no different, okay?
Yeah, let's just not get too far into it.
let's not get too
I know
far
Aaron
into it.
won't as a damn Jets fan. But
Yeah, but let's talk about just one move
Sorry.
your team made that you maybe want to talk about. I want to start with our guest.
Oh, man.
Let's hear it. What's a move you guys made that you're loving?
You know, I really like what Darren Moogie has been doing with as the general manager. You know, he's really just shoring up the defense as much as he can. It was a bottom 2, bottom 1 defense last year.
Yeah.
And now it's probably in the middle of the pack already.
Yeah.
I think getting Demario Davis at 37 years old, it's whatever, but I like him as like the leader of the defense.
Yeah.
When the Jets got Minka Fitzpatrick, my initial reaction was, dude, isn't this guy like washed?
Yeah.
It was. But then I looked and I'm like, wait a second,
He had
he's
a
actually still
solid season.
pretty
with
good.
Miami.
It's still Minka Fitzpatrick, who can command a defense and lead. He's a leader.
So I think that's the move that you look at. It's like, oh wow, this is a good one. The obvious one that I know you're waiting for is the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, man. Throw stuff at a wall. You're not making the playoffs. You're not finishing above fourth in your own division. You might finish fifth out of 4 teams. I mean, it's that bad. It's at a point where it's like, what do you? I mean,
I actually agree. I think Geno was the perfect guy.
Really?
He just got the
whatever.
Las Vegas Raiders, Francisco Mendoza. Imagine what he can get from the New York Jets.
By the way, his name's Fernando. But
oh, sorry. Yeah, see, all over the place.
I want to say something. I was just telling him when I didn't see you before, but honestly, I think Geno's bad, but they're not going to be the worst team in the NFL.
Bringing in a fan favorite, a former Jet, who people love.
Yeah.
New Yorkers love Geno Smith.
Yeah. He's not good at all, but they're not the worst. They're not the worst team of football.
No, they're not.
They're not going to be.
They very well could be. That's the
I
New York Jets we're
think
talking
so.
about here.
No, because dude, and that's the other thing, and I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna rant for a second. A lot of people like saying it's the New York Jets. It's this. It's that. Okay.
Just end the season. All that stuff.
No, it's Woody Johnson.
But it's like, and I'm glad you said that too.
Yeah.
Because people instead of, and I'm glad you said it because you corrected yourself there. People take the unintelligent route of it's the Jets. There's no other reason or explanation for their failure.
Yeah.
They're just the Jets. Let's be smart.
Yeah.
And let's stop looking at a logo and getting butthurt. Woody Johnson is a problem.
Yeah.
Woody Johnson will always be the problem. It starts with him and goes down. Why have the coaches not stuck since Rex Ryan? Because look who's
Yeah,
I would have kept Rex too, but
it was okay.
That's the problem with it is it all trickles down from the guy, the head honcho, Woody Johnson, who is the worst owner in sports. Most people believe that Woody Johnson.
He's up. He's top.
And like you said, Moogie's done a great job with a terrible hand that he's been dealt by the owner, Woody Johnson.
Yeah.
Woody Johnson's, I don't even know what he's up to. Like, what is his thought process?
He's on Madden.
I don't get it, but
Yeah.
For a bridge the gap quarterback, there's no better person you could bring in than Geno Smith.
Yeah.
It's not going to cost. But you could have brought in Kirk Cousins. I'd rather have Geno.
Ooh,
Kyler.
Kyler. I was just about to say that. I would
that's not a
have
bridge the gap quarterback.
I would have went. Here's what my
He's getting
opinion
a
was.
one-year deal though.
I had a feeling because I'm looking at just the AFC East, like two teams, Dolphins and Jets. QB question for a while. I will give Jets credit too. Last season, you go get Fields. You saw some stuff with the Steelers. I didn't think that was necessarily a bad move.
It wasn't.
Did it work out great? No, maybe not. But it was a different kind of quarterback play.
I like the move.
And you know what? You paired him with Tyrod Taylor.
Atrocious, though.
Could have been all right. And look, it didn't work out. You also to credit Garrett Wilson being hurt for a lot of this season too did not help.
Dude,
but even then,
Justin Fields was benched far before Garrett Wilson got hurt.
No, but still,
That dude,
I'm
he
just
ended the game
trying,
like 11 pass yards.
I'm adding some
was
padding here,
negative, I
but
think.
It looked good on paper preseason. It was like, okay, he had a decent 6 games in Pittsburgh. Let's bring this guy in. It looked okay.
But what I will say about this, and this was just because I'm on Kyler watch, because I'm expecting somebody to pick him up. I certainly don't think he's a QB who shouldn't be playing this upcoming season.
No, he should definitely be playing. I think he sucks, though.
I think,
I disagree with that.
think it's different. It's the kind of play that he is. He is not a quarterback who is good both ways. We're in the age now where your quarterback's got to be able to throw dimes, and he's got to be able to run a little bit to extend the play or be able to run to make a play. Lamar, he makes a play. Josh extends, throwing to whoever. We obviously last season that was nobody, but Kyler, to me, he makes a play. That was the biggest thing in Arizona. Everybody thought it was the next best thing because he would run all over the place, extend the play or make the play.
Yeah, but then the next game, he comes out, throws 178 yards and 2 picks, no touchdowns. Kyler Murray, when the eye test tells me a lot of things.
Yeah.
When I watch him play, he's not a get to your. He can't get to past his second read. He can't scan
That's
the
fair.
field.
Well,
and
granted,
I know that we're trending away from that in today's NFL.
Yeah.
But to Kyler Murray is let me check it down to Trey McBride type. He is
Fair.
not,
Very fair.
which is a good guy to check it down to.
Yeah.
But when I watch Kyler Murray play, he looks he does not look like he is in control of the field. He is Jalen Hurts. He's less of Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts actually knows how to win football games.
Can I tell you this though? Fun fact: Jalen Hurts taller than Kyler Murray, so he can actually see over the offensive line.
You're a big believer on that, yeah.
Kyler cannot. Dude, that's my biggest thing with him. Like Marvin Harrison Jr., that should have worked out with him. I know he was a rookie and like, you know, he had some drops.
Well, now you got Michael Wilson too.
He's good.
Yeah,
Who's
bro.
came on the scene.
Yeah, dude.
So now
solid
Kyler
dude.
even like,
and that's the thing. The reason it didn't work out, he can't see these dudes. But you know who you can see is Trey McBride. But let's
he's closer.
Yeah, let's switch up a little bit too.
Where's Trey? I got him.
You guys specific move Pittsburgh made in this free
Michael
agency.
Pittman, man.
Let's hear it. Let's hear
I
it.
love it.
Talk to me about
a
it.
late round pick swap for Michael Pittman, a guy who's had 1,000 yards in a season, once or twice, a guy that can make plays on the outside but can be that reception guy in the middle. Oh, I love it. And we got him for nothing.
Yeah.
He's an incredible guy. Now you have two wide receivers on the outside that can go out and make plays, big frame wide receivers. I love Michael Pittman. I have for a while, and now that he's a Pittsburgh Steeler, I'm stoked.
You ready for a take?
What?
The Colts traded their best wide receiver.
Ooh. Okay.
That's not like a crazy take,
not.
honestly.
Yeah.
People are like,
But the Colts think so.
Yeah, they do because they threw $30-something million at Alec Pierce per year.
ridiculous.
There's
Yeah.
like 112 total, like 80 guaranteed.
He's a good wide receiver, but he's not
good.
that good.
And he had most of his success with Phillip Rivers late in the season. Phillip Rivers is not going to be your quarterback.
Well, also think about this too. When he gets open and he has that downfield threat stuff, it's because the double team is on Pittman. That's why he was open in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. I don't agree. I mean, what did we get him for, a sixth?
I don't.
It's actually...
I think a fifth.
I think it was a sixth.
Fifth or a sixth.
We traded our sixth for their seventh and Michael
Yeah,
Pittman.
yeah.
It was a complete salary dump. And if you look at what the Bills, and I'll transition right to the Bills.
okay. All right.
You look at what the Bills gave up for DJ Moore, a second-round pick, for a guy that's older. I think that the Steelers made out incredibly.
They did.
Yeah. Well, I'll give the Steelers this too because I've seen the comparisons and whatnot too. I also think the Colts were closer to releasing him. And when they saw that they get any kind of thing, I'm not saying it was bad for the Steelers to still get the trade because you make sure
Michael Pittman, though,
you
bro.
make sure that you get him like that. That is smarter than any other team. I will say this though, I was incredibly happy with Buffalo going for DJ Moore, and this is the thing: the conversation was unrealistic. We are moving on from Sean McDermott. We're going to Joe Brady. We're going from a defensive head coach team to an offensive head coach team. The emphasis is on Josh Allen. I mean, it's already kind of been, but now it's officially, balls in his court. Wide receiver is obviously the biggest, issue. The tight end game's all right between Knox and Kincaid. James Cook, I honestly think we kind of like found a diamond in the rough here, and I think he's the 9th highest paid running back, rushing leader from last season. I'll take that.
When you look at a contract like Travis Etienne,
and
you say, I have James Cook, the NFL leading rusher of 2025 on my team. I think you made out pretty good with that contract.
And I'll say this. I think getting a guy like DJ Moore is as good as getting any possible wide receiver for this team.
Oh, he's going to have a career year with Josh
The reason
Allen.
I say that is this. Yeah, you could have tried maybe see the A.J. Brown dance. Personally, I wasn't super invested on A.J. Brown because I was like, he's a good player. He's definitely far better than what we had. But I just didn't think it was the right fit. I just didn't think it was right.
That's fair.
Pittman is incredibly productive. Sorry to cut you off.
No, fair.
This guy is awesome. And I thought that his biggest weakness was missing games.
No.
Dude, he doesn't miss games.
Well, you want to know who doesn't miss games?
DJ Moore.
Which
He played 5 straight years?
He has
every game?
He's been playing 5 or 8. I think it's 8.
Knock on wood for that one.
I think it's 8 seasons playing from Carolina, Chicago. Now he's going to Buffalo. The biggest problem with the Bills is the weapons getting hurt. Cook stayed healthy, but Kincaid, man, that's a great target for Josh.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not there all the time.
He was awesome against Jacksonville in the first round. No, but
good, man.
let me counter that because I think it's a great move too because it's something that Josh Allen hasn't had. Stephon Diggs, over the middle guy. DJ Moore can get it done both over the middle and on the outside.
Yeah.
Your alpha 1 wide receiver, who I thought a match made in heaven right now would have been AJ Brown. But AJ Brown comes with that diva side.
Well,
DJ Moore is a straight up, I go to work, I catch passes, I catch touchdowns. Josh Allen, lead me to a Super Bowl kind of guy.
Let me counter that too, because I remember 2 years ago there was a big move to go get Amari Cooper, And Devontae Adams was big on the scene too. And I think the Jets and the Bills made the right move because you know what? The Jets getting Devontae Adams, it works because he had Rodgers. It made
It
sense.
was Rodgers, yes.
Amari Cooper, I thought was a better fit for Buffalo because he's one of those quieter guys. He wasn't really like, and I'm not saying Devontae Adams is a big diva or anything, but Amari Cooper is like maybe the most quiet wide receiver at the time, in my opinion. But
Yeah, but he's not in the league anymore.
no, of course. But looking at DJ Moore, the reason I think he's the best fit, and I honestly think he was a better get than AJ Brown, is you look at the new head coach of Joe Brady, and you look at DJ Moore in Carolina, 2 of his best seasons in his entire career in Carolina. Who is the wide receiver coach? It was Joe Brady.
Yeah.
So that's really, and look, at the end of the day, yeah, Josh Allen's also the quarterback too. He's going to make a play. But that to me is what was the big get.
Yep, they had Bradley Chubb too, and my
Yeah.
Steelers had Rico Dowdle, who had a historic.
That's my favorite move the Steelers made, dude.
historic little burst there in the middle of the season for Carolina, and he was awesome for Dallas the year prior or 2 years prior, excuse me. And I
Wow,
love that.
I'm sorry. I gotta stop this. We got breaking news. I'm gonna play Schefter
Oh God,
right
is
now.
it like a joke news?
Kyler
or-
Murray is going to the Vikings, boys.
Oh,
He's going
man.
to the Vikings.
See you later, Nine. Smell
JJ
you later.
McCarthy. He's going for a year deal. JJ McCarthy is competition. Ruh-roh. Like,
Wow, that's crazy. All right, we got to wrap up this NFL talk. I want to get into a game. I want to say, before we close out, I think the Tennessee Titans made out the best. I'm going to ask you guys.
the Tennessee Giants. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Jets.
well, dude,
Yeah.
they bolstered up their defense, which was the problem. Multiple dogs heading into that defense, play for Robert Saleh, and then they have Cam Ward was. He was dealt a bad hand last year, and he did
Yeah.
all he could with that bad hand.
He was a good quarterback,
If you talk about eye
considering.
test, this dude has it.
Oh, yeah.
He's got it. So
Yeah.
I think the Tennessee Titans will win a lot more games next year.
Yeah,
bringing in
dude.
guys to play defense for Robert Saleh.
You want a
They're
hot
gonna be
take?
very good.
You want a hot take? I think they finished second in their division. Hot take.
That is a hot take because the
finished
Texans
second
are always going to
divisions.
win games.
No, the Texans are going to win
Jacksonville
games.
is good now.
No, Jacksonville run game's gone. ETN's gone, man.
Nah,
Yeah, but they're
Bashal
not gonna
Tootin,
be-
man.
they can't
Bashal
be-
Tootin was debatably better.
They can't
We'll
be
see.
worse
We'll see.
than the Titans.
And who do you guys think made out the best? Not just real quick. What do you think?
Raiders.
The Raiders. Yep.
Raiders,
I like that.
especially-
they're building it like they should for the quarterback.
Especially
Yeah.
considering everything that happened with the Ravens too. Yeah, you're missing out on 2 first-round picks, but you just got back. Look, even if you don't end up trading him and he stays somehow, dude, you still have Maxx Crosby on this team. Like,
That's a unit of a defense. And
know?
then who do you think made out the worst?
dude, the Ravens.
Ravens.
I got to give it.
Really?
I don't.
Even Trey? You think so?
Dude, Trey Hendrickson's a dog, don't get me wrong. But he's an in-division guy that's automatically taking some points down. Pittsburgh, the Browns, even Cincinnati knows this guy. You know what I
Cincinnati's
mean?
not going to be able to block him.
Oh, no, Cincinnati's not going to be able to do anything because they're idiots. But I honestly think Crosby was a great get for them. And for them to back out of it and get Hendrickson, I think it's far worse, in my opinion.
It is, but
No,
And
I don't.
he's
I
still
think,
good.
dude.
But
I think people are
He's
sleeping
still-
on Trey Hendrickson.
No, he's still
dude.
good. But let me just say this, too. You don't have the center, the top center, arguably one of the top centers in the NFL,
Yes.
protecting one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
It's true.
And tried and true Lucky, who I thought was the future of the tight end room for the Ravens. Isaiah Likely isn't on this team anymore.
Yeah.
Mark
yeah.
Andrews is great. He's a dog. I'm not trying to say he's bad.
it's
I don't
all
know
right.
about that.
I don't think the Ravens made out the worst, but yeah, that's I see how you could say it. I think it's the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, what
Yeah.
direction
Oh,
are we
yeah.
heading?
True.
You brought in Tua, who is debatably worse than the guy, the bad quarterback that you already have.
drafted.
It is the same player, injury prone
Yeah.
lefties who can't run, can't extend a play, and Tua turns the ball over more.
Yeah, dude.
So what are we doing? They don't have a
awful.
first round pick. They have dead money. They're
Awful.
going to Kirk Cousins. That's going to Kirk Cousins and whoever else knows like what
Yeah.
who they're paying.
Yeah.
They have no wiggle room here, and they bring in Tua. What Atlanta? Be pissed. This is awful.
Yeah.
That
That
was
was
a
weird.
backwards move. This team,
Yeah.
Horrible.
and I feel bad for Stefanski, and I don't because he took the job. But golly, man,
Dude,
Yeah,
bad.
it's
it just pisses me off from an outside observer looking at what the Falcons are doing. If they were the Steelers, I'd be rioting.
No,
Yeah, dude.
Like
it's bad.
that is awful. Who
And
do
I
you
don't-
think made out the worst?
like I said, the Ravens. It's
Ravens.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.